Hello, guys. Welcome back to the Jays Fifth Down Podcast. I'm your host, Jaden. Here today, we're going to be talking about the Chicago Bears and how they will be a dangerous team in 2023 and beyond. I know everybody's going to come at me for this because it's the Bears. I understand that, but hear me out. They're a good team. They're going to be on the come up. Justin Fields is improving every single year, and I really think that they're going to be dangerous. I mean, they got a lot of talented guys, offensively, defensively, guys they added in the offseason. So we're going to talk about that and just how the Chicago can come out of the basement of the NFC North and just the NFL in general. But before we get to that, make sure you guys check us out here. If you love football, if you love all that stuff, share this podcast with your friends. Subscribe to the channel on YouTube. We're also on Spotify and every podcast platform. We're continuing to grow each and every day. We're getting better. It's the summertime, so we're continuing to grow our podcast. It's the time. It's a dead period for football right now. It's in the off season, so I'm trying to put out the best content I can for you guys, and we appreciate you loyal followers and subscribers of the channel. And make sure you share with your friends. Please check us out here on Jay's Fifth Down. Main topic for today is the Chicago Bears. Now, it's a team that went 3-14 last year, very bad. They ended up with the number one overall pick, which they traded to the Carolina Panthers for DJ Moore and PJ Walker and some other things, which was a great move by the front office. Ryan Poles, again, great job. I love what he's done since he's taken over as a GM there and up there in Chicago, because that's what they need to do. I mean, where you have the number one pick, you're not going to draft a quarterback because you have Justin Fields. So there's no reason for you to draft a quarterback. They didn't have a reason to, so I knew they were going to trade that pick. And they end up trading it for a great number one wide receiver in DJ Moore, a guy who's trying to get out of Carolina with a horrible QB situation there. He gets a solid quarterback who's is going into his third season and has improved each year he's been in the league. So that's a great trajectory, especially if you're a receiver that you're looking to make a name, continue to make a name for yourself in the NFL and continue to grow your status and want people to know who you are. You have a quarterback who is also on the come up as well. That's only going to help your case. So it was a great move there, and I think it's going to be a win-win for both parties, particularly DJ Moore and Justin Fields. But I really think this team can be dangerous. And I say that because if you look at Justin Fields' stats from 2021 to 2022, in 2021, his rookie season, he had 1,870 passing yards, 7 touchdowns, 10 picks, 73.2 quarterback rating. Not that good. Not horrible, not that good. 2022, he had a 2,242 passing yards, 17 touchdowns, 11 picks, and a 85.2 quarterback rating. So you see the improvement, right? So even when you watch Justin play, you see that you saw the improvement. He was a little bit more precise with his passing. You could tell he was working through the quarterback mechanics a little bit more. Offensively, he was getting better. So those are the things you want to see out of your starting quarterback, right? Just that continuing to on that trajectory to be better. And I saw that out of Justin Fields, and I was impressed by the plays he made last year, especially on the ground, as he rushed for 1,143 rushing yards and 8 touchdowns. And he also ran for 65 first downs. Think about that stat for a minute. Think about this for a minute. He ran for 65 first downs. So that's meaning, you're second down, third down, maybe even fourth down. I'm not sure, but, you need that first. You need to pick up that first. You need to keep the chains moving so you can drive down the field and score, right? And it's critical knowing that you have a guy in your backfield, a quarterback that you can rely on to get that first down, to pick up those yards, whether it's running or passing in this particular instance. It's running the football. And the Bears being able to say, hey, Justin, you know what? This is going to be a read option. It's 3rd and 5. The game's tied 20-20. 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter. We're on the 50-yard line. We need to get this first down, and then we're going to give you the ball. And they knew that they can rely on him to go get that first down. So that's huge. I just thought that was an interesting stat that I saw there on ProFootballReference.com. He ran for 65 first downs. That's big. And I can only see that number continue to grow. And you have a quarterback that's able to pass and run the ball. That's huge, and especially in today's league. And I feel like Justin, as he continues to work on his passing game, can become a polished thrower of the football at this level. As long as he continues to trend on that upward trajectory there. But I mean, and they made great offseason additions too. I mean, you added DJ Moore, Tremaine Edmonds, right? Those are those are the moves I was particularly impressed by. Even though they traded away Roquan Smith to the Ravens, but you got some draft capital back for him, right? And they cleared some of that money off the cap. So that was a good move. I know Bears fans didn't want to see Roquan go, but he was asking for money that Chicago wasn't going to really pay him, and that's just what it was. But the DJ Moore move was very important because you know their leading receiver last year was Cole Kmet, the tight end. And no disrespect to Cole Kmet, he's a great player. But he had over, 600 yards or something, a little over that. Not that much over. And he's your leading receiver. That's not good. That's not good at all. That is atrocious. So the Bears knew they need to go and get a number one receiver. And they did that, and they got DJ Moore, who's happy to play with Justin Fields, he's happy to be in a new place in Chicago, a new area, somewhere fresh start for him. Now he gets to establish himself as a top receiver in the league that he thinks he is. I think he is talented, very talented. Is he a top receiver? That remains to be seen. But he wants to make a name for himself that he is that type of player. So going to a different team, different quarterback, a polished quarterback, actual quarterback, who is talented and consistent, that he's able to go play with. That's huge. And I think that's only going to help him, not hurt him. It's going to help him. It's going to help the team. So I mean, it's just going to really, I think the Bears, and once they figure everything out offensively, and they got Darnell Wright too, drafted him with the first round pick from Tennessee, the offensive tackle, great player, huge for them on that offensive line, continue to protect Justin Fields, open up those running lanes. They lost David Montgomery to the Lions in free agency, I believe it was. Yes, they lost him to the Lions. So not you lose him there, but Khalil Herbert, and I believe he can take on that role of being their top running back. I mean, and you're not going to be, they're going to be interchanging the attempts with Fields and Herbert, and whoever else they decide to put in the backfield. So I don't expect they don't really need that pound for pound running back, and we really haven't seen much of those in the league anymore now because the running back market has been so, and this has been a topic recently of a lot of players, a lot of people, but it's been the running back market has been in some ways skewed now to the point where you don't really need those pound for pound running backs. Now you got running back by committee, those interchangeable positions. It's one of those interchangeable positions now. So it's really no need to get a guy who you're going to give the ball, give him 25 carries a game, 350 or more attempts in a season. That's not what the league is anymore. We'll see what happens with that. But I mean, and defensively, the Chicago, has got a great defense. Young emerging guys, right? Eddie Jackson, Jaquan Brisker, Kyle Gordon, just to name a few guys, right? Buster Screen, Sean Gibson. I mean, they're improving defensively too. And Tremaine Edmonds, the biggest of all, who they signed away from Buffalo in free agency. So you bring in a guy who's fast, he's physical, he's tough. He can cover for a linebacker pretty decently. He can cover pretty well. So, I mean, they're trying to compete, and being realistic, we know they're not going to win many games next year. They might win 6 or 7 games, I think total, maybe 8. Might go 8 and 9. If they're really lucky, 9 and 8. That's like the tippy top of what you're wanting to do if you're Chicago. I think that's a realistic goal if you're the Bears. It's 9 and 8. You sneak into the wild card, maybe even win. I don't know, depending on who you play. But it's just continuing to get better each and every year. Being a former football player myself, it's just about getting better, right? Getting better as a team, collectively, as players, individually. When everybody on the team is bought into that one goal of getting better and improving, then you make it easier to go out and compete each and every week because everybody's on that same accord, under that same mindset, under the mantra that, hey, we're going to get better, we're going to fight, we're going to compete every week, we're going to go out and try and win football games. I think the Bears are doing that. I think they collectively, I think they're on they're in a good culture as a collective unit, right? And I think Matt Eberflus is doing a good job of managing that and trying to continue to establish a culture in Chicago and say, hey, we're not the Bears who lose, and we're not going to be those Bears anymore. We're gonna change how people think about us, and I think they can do that. I totally think they can. I believe in the Bears. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I believe that they can be a contender. Maybe not next year, maybe not the year after that, but maybe years beyond. Within the next 3 or 4 years, they're definitely going to be a playoff team in the NFC. The NFC as a whole, I mean, it's really top heavy for the most part. So your Eagles, 49ers, then after that, it's like it's open. So now you got room for the Lions to sneak in, right? Or teams like that. Who knows? So I think the NFC North is particularly is one of those divisions where, you know, if the Lions don't, if they don't do what we think they're doing, and they don't go out and, which I don't think is going to happen, but they don't go out and go out and win a lot of games. And or not even a lot of games, but just show that they've improved, and that they can go out and compete with the best of these teams and win like 9 or 10 games. If they don't go out and do that, um, then the Bears, hey, they can sneak in that second spot in the NFC North, second or third. I don't think the Vikings. I don't. I just don't know with them. Like I said, and you guys can check my last video out that I did about the Vikings. I just think they're a really weird team. I don't know what they're going to do. But the Lions and the Bears, I know they're definitely improving and they're getting better. So uh, that's just something to watch out for. Hey, who knows, right? But yeah, that pretty much wraps us up there for the Bears. I just want to talk about them, and I feel like they're going to be a very dangerous team here in the fall. And moving on forward. So make sure you guys watch out for them. That don't sleep on the Bears. I'm telling y'all, don't sleep on Chicago. Now they look. They're going to get there. It's going to take a little bit of time, but they're going to get there. They're on the right path. They're on the right trajectory. They're improving. They're getting guys that are bought in to what they're preaching. So, and when you have that on a football team, then you're going to do good. Trust me. So, but thank you guys for checking us out here on the podcast today. It's a short one today. Just want to do a quick little episode here about the Chicago Bears. Let me know your thoughts in the comments and help us continue to grow this show on YouTube and every other podcast platform. We're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your favorite podcast. That's where we are. Again, yeah, check us out. Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you think Chicago could be a dangerous team in the future? Let me know what you think. And tune back in for the next episode of Jays Fit Down. I'm your host, Jaden. Take care.